Hi, everybody. I hope you are all well. So welcome to today's event. My name is Eve, and we are super excited here today to be working with COIMA. COIMA is our event partner today. COIMA is a leading property investment and development company in Italy. And then Residenze Porta Nuova is the world's leading regeneration and contemporary new district in Milan. So today, our amazing speaker will provide an exclusive introduction and insight into Milan's property market, lifestyle, unique investment opportunity within Porta Nuova. So I want to just let you know, you have opportunity to ask all the panel questions today, which you can actually submit anytime during the webinar using a Q&A function on the screen. So just type it in the box and we will pick up at the end of the presentation. And also to remind you that you can activate the full screen mode as well during the presentation. And when you want to submit your question, just exit the full screen mode and you can submit your questions. So I want to introduce you our first speaker today. Our first speaker is Lodovico Pignati Molano. He's a Sotheby's International Realty, the managing partner here in Italy, and he's gonna talk to us about the local property market landscape. So let's just welcome, Lodovico.
Thank you so much, Eve, for the introduction, and welcome to everyone on this event. First of all, let me tell you about a bit about I don't know whether the presentation can go through, I cannot see on the screen. So I will be basically talking to you about giving you an overview of the property market in Italy overall and what has happened in the past couple of years, including what has happened during this COVID time. Then I'm going to move forward to give you an idea of what is Milan today for international buyer and internationally, and then give you an idea of what the property market in Milan is doing. So first of all, let me start by saying that the Italian market is a very stable property market, whereby we have seen clearly a return after the COVID period in 2020, where there's been a lockdown in Italy and we couldn't move forward with transaction. We basically reached back the level of pre-COVID in terms of transaction. So we reached 629,000 units have been exchanged now. We have seen that there has been an increase in demand for real estate properties, in residential properties, in Italy of approximately 50% compared to the first half of 2020. But we have to take into account that we had 3 months of lockdown on that. Nevertheless, we've seen that the increase in demand has been scattered across the territory. The buyer focus for this increased demand is pushed by 3 main factors: the Italian lifestyle, so the place, the architecture, the food, the sunshine, the dolce vita, the art, the design, the fashion, and the wine. Then we've had a second trend which has pushed an interest on real estate demand in Italy, which has been provided by the flat tax facilities and incentive that have been put through the Italian government since 2018. And Brexit as well has been something that has pushed forward the idea of several ultra high net worth individuals wishing to basically change their main residence and to settle in more attractive countries, and Italy is one of those. Let me move over to what is Milan. Milan is the largest and the leading economic financial center in Italy, and it is considered the driving force in terms of economy for Italy as a whole. We have seen that the population is considered the third most populated area in Europe. What's here on the presentation, you have got 1.4 million people living in Milan, but you have to consider all the suburbs. And it's the fastest growing, with a 9% population growth between 2013 and 2019. It's a very well-connected city with 2 airports, Milan, Malpensa, and Linate, and it's very well connected to northern, central and northern Europe via rail. Clearly, as we said, in terms of interest for investors and for companies, we know that Milan has a very important international appeal. We have all the major corporations in Italy have their headquarters in Milan, banking, in industry, global companies have their headquarters in Milan. Milan is as well the world fashion capital since 2009, with all the Italian fashion designer that are working, and they have their base in Milan. And Milan holds twice a year a fashion week, which has been clearly difficult during the past year to go through, given the COVID situation, but it's starting back again. It is a very important tourist destination, and we've seen that there has been an increase of approximately 5% on a yearly basis since 2015, when we had the Expo in Milan. Milan, we have clearly Porta Nuova, which is the main business district area, where we have the most important financial institution, insurance companies, and global companies having their headquarters there. This is more or less what we've talked about. Now, global appeal clearly is given by the fact that it's a global business and innovation hub. Given we have different things, different industry, fashion, design, mechanical and electronics, healthcare, biotechnology, design clearly, and jewelry. And Milan as well has an important university hub with over 180,000 students basically studying in Milan, and of which a huge amount an increasing amount is coming from overseas. We have clearly Bocconi and the Polytechnic of Milano, which are the main ones. Now, about the property market, Milan is main residential property market basically has been suffering during the COVID time. We have seen that there has been a decrease in transaction for the first half of 2020, given the lockdown, given the fact that foreign investors and buyers could not basically come over to the country and do the viewings and buy the properties. But this has basically reverted to a positive trend in the second half of 2020, and is following up during this first half in 2021, whereby there are a lot of possibilities basically for buyers to find properties, given as well the availability of new developments that are going through for Milan. We see here that the pandemic has impacted the market, clearly, as we said, but there has been a resilience, which has brought about an increase in transaction in Q1 2021, which was 17% higher than in 2019. So that shows an improvement again. Now, what we see here now is the fact that the demand is growing, and is growing for larger properties with outside space. And Milan, clearly for us, it's a very important attraction with respect to the investors from overseas. To tell you the truth, during 2020, we've clearly had a majority of buyers coming from Italy because they could move around. But we've seen that changing in the first half of 2021, whereby people have started again to travel, to be able to buy. And what's happening is that we've seen that there is a high request for luxury properties and for modern properties. And that would be it for me.
Good afternoon. My name is Piero Zanin. I'm a real estate broker of Residenze Porta Nuova. I'm with Monica Venegas from Venegas International. Today we are at the 24th floor of Bosco Verticale, the Castiglia Tower, and we are glad to present you the Residenze Porta Nuova development and some details regarding our companies. Residenze Porta Nuova was born in 2009. It is specialized in high-end and luxury properties. We made 85 transactions last year, 263 million sales performed in the last 3 years. Residenze Porta Nuova is a company of COIMA. COIMA is a real estate group active since 1974. It has created an holding that controls 5 different companies, active in investment, asset management, development and property management, digital transformation, space planning and design, marketing and sales. COIMA managed 8.4 billion euros asset. The location of these assets are mostly Milan, but also in other cities, such as Rome. Our activity is mostly in the office segments, but also retail, residential, hospitality, logistic, and industrial. We collaborate with the most important architecture studies in the world, such as Citterio, Clark Pelli, Boeri Architects, in order to develop the best projects in the world. These are the most iconic buildings that COIMA managed. Gioia 22 is a zero-emission building, and it will be the new headquarters of UBI Banca. The Unicredit Tower, it is the headquarters of Unicredit. The iconic Bosco Verticale, the 2 residential towers designed by Boeri. Aria and Solaria, another example of high luxury residential units. Microsoft House, the headquarters of Microsoft, designed by Erog and Dumeron Studio. Why investing in Milan? Milan is first of all culture, and you have many things to visit, such as Duomo Cathedral, Teatro La Scala, but it's also the city of fashion, design, business, and lifestyle. It is also one of the most important university hubs. Milan is very well connected thanks to the 2 airports, Milano Linate and Milano Malpensa. And Porta Nuova is one of the most well-connected areas. It is set in the heart of Milan, and it is not so far from Brera and Isola district, and more or less 15 minutes by the Duomo Cathedral. what is Porta Nuova today? Porta Nuova was the best regeneration project and won the MIPIM at Cannes in 2018. It is 30 hectares of urban regeneration. It is one of the most accessible hubs in Italy, with 90,000 square meter park. It has more than 60 shops for primary global brands and over 30 corporates, 400 residential units and 2,000 inhabitants in the area, 10 million visitors every year. Inside Porta Nuova development, you'll find the Library of Trees, Biblioteca degli Alberi, a contemporary garden designed by inside outside, with 500 trees and 135 plants, and a dedicated cultural program of events every year. This slide represents the residential towers inside Porta Nuova development. The Ville di Porta Nuova, Solaria, Solea and Aria in the Varesine area, and on the other side, the right side, Bosco Verticale and the Residenze Giardini development.
Well, thank you, Piero. I'm very glad to be at Bosco Verticale and be able to join you in learning more and more every day about the vision and about COIMA. Good afternoon, everyone. Ni hao. And I'm Monica Venegas from Venegas International Group. It's really a pleasure, and thank you for your time to learn and be part of our amazing experience at Porta Nuova in Milano. Who is Venegas International Group? Venegas has specialized in the sales and marketing of ultra-luxury branded developments. We provide to individual and institutional buyers with a range of service for any real estate investment needs. Actually, from curating your lifestyle, acquiring a luxury residence, until to really assemble an entire development. We specialize in the international markets and representing developers around the world. In markets around, such as United States, Miami, New York, West Europe, Russia, Dubai, and China. I cannot forget Latin America. In China, and I'm very pleased that our audience is from China, I have been showcasing different residential developments and mixed-use developments since 2006 in Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu, Guangzhou, and Hong Kong. Mainland China, and recently, the last year's Hong Kong. Well, it's a pleasure to start introducing the amazing Porta Nuova and every residential development that they have. Residenze Porta Nuova, it's really a vision from COIMA to put a collectors of architects, an amazing architect that has designed and really bring an statement for Milano. First, we're starting with Stefano Boeri, who designed Bosco Verticale, which was really an iconic architect from Milano. We have Arquitectonica, a well-known international architect based in Miami, who has designed around the world residential and mixed-use developments. Here in Porta Nuova, he designed the two residential towers, Aria and Solaria. The next, third iconic building is Solea, who actually has been designed by Caputo and Associates, a 30-year firm based in Milano. M2MP, it's a group based in Milano as well, who designed Le Villa at Porta Nuova. And our last one will be the Residenze Le Jardin, with Lagrange, a famous architect as well, And so we are going to introduce you each development. We started with Arquitectonica. Arquitectonica, a firm based in Miami that I will really identify for the 8 developments that they have designed in China, mainland China. And actually, I will say, as an example, the Mandarin Oriental in Shanghai. So I think it's very impressive to really see what he has transported to the Nueva Milano, and a solution for contemporary and really a full amenity building where it's completely new for in the last 10 years in Milano. He designed the 2 towers of Solea and Solaria, which has 145 residents with only remaining 13. We have a range of starting in 300 square meters and up. The solution within the concept within this design is the glass walls that it's really in 143 meters from the land to the sky, giving expansive views from the amazing terrace overlooking from the Alps to the Duomo. It's what amazing treasure and jewel are we looking from these residents. And I do think that the combination of the different range of solutions and floor plans, such as duplex, triplex, penthouses with rooftop pools, this create an statement for why to buy in Solaria and Aria. Arquitectonica made this building one in 2000, is a LEED gold building as well. And you will see a good award. What is the award that Aria and Solaria got? You have in 2000?
It's the Society of American Registered Architects Award.
Exactly. So we're very lucky to be here. We are showing a video of Aria and Solaria, the glass and expansive residence that you actually have here makes a delivery solution a turnkey residence. It's a very unique concept to have within Milano 2 floors residence, 3 floors residence with rooftops. Quality is what really characterizes is one of the main strengths for COIMA, and I really detail-oriented. And this is something that COIMA Image, one of the companies that are their affiliates, gives that solution and to transport to the local buyer to the international buyer, catering to every different culture, such as the Occident, the Westerns, as also Middle East and China. Well, here we are I'm actually coming to the slide to one of the pieces of art. That's for me really what is Bosco Verticale. It's a trophy design and the trophy buildings around the world. It's really a long-lasting contribution to biodiversity in architecture. Here you have Stefano Boerio from Bosco Verticale, who in 2 towers, the Castilla and Confalonieri, has put together 113 units, where we have left 10 residents available within these 2 residential towers. What we have is really, what is Bosco Verticale is an icon urban reforestation building model and also the restructuration of requalification of Porta Nuova. Well, Stefano Boeri it's a really one of the renowned architect for urban and green urban developments, really well known and recognized around the world. Such as it's incredible to see being here at this amazing. You see everything what you see is green all around. what are you looking into the outside, thinking and imagine what he put together that within all the seasons, what really transformed the green, and this is what the amazing. We're really putting here 15,000 plants within 90, basically, species of trees. Where this is imagine 3 hectares of trees in a forest. What really, like every year, it's 30 tons of carbon dioxide. And that's what really in every year what we have at Bosco Verticale. But it's no more than that. It's giving the lifestyle, it's giving within the residents the possibility to have expansive terrace all surrounded by green, like living in a sky villa and a private villa, but within this building. Bosco Verticale actually have won many awards, and it's really, that's very impressive because since 2014, you have the award for one of the tallest buildings in 2015, the tallest buildings in the world, in 2000 the tallest building in Europe, and 2019, I will say Bosco Verticale is within the 50 most iconic buildings around the world, skyscrapers. So you have to see that this is what it really takes to be here, and it's not just to be able to purchase a residence here, it's just to be able to purchase a piece of art. Well, bringing the penthouse project. We're delivering here solutions, and this is because COIMA image. You're able to purchase one of the penthouses at Bosco Verticale. In this case, is 800 square meters in one floor, is in a flat. This is a design proposed by COIMA Image to have a 4 or 5 bedroom residence. But it's no more than that. You have these renderings, but you as a potential buyer, you will be able to customize your own penthouse. Really, it depends on your needs. This is the offer that we are actually bringing to the penthouse buyer. Again, important to customize your own residence, or to bring your own interior designer, your architect, or COIMA Images will work with you to fit the needs in 800 square meter residence. This is a rendering from what could be your living area, your dining area. This is the facade of the balconies of the terrace, and what you see is the different species of the trees and the plants. That really transports you in like the back yard of your private villa, which is because this is something between living in a residential building, but you're living with privacy, and in a building that has also amenities. We've seen here something very important. You have a residence here starting right now in 280 square meters and up to 500 square meters. This is a view of one of the balconies. We're now on the 24th floor, and doesn't matter the level that you are here in the high. In each of the residences, you have that background of these expansive terraces and balcony that really leads to see always the green. A view from the ground floor and to see this spectacular jewel and piece of art that Stefano Boeri has actually put together within all the green. It's just to be here the 12 months during the year and to see the transformation of these species, these plants, is something amazing. We see the facade and the outdoor. It's really living in Milano. Can you imagine being here, being an historical city, overlooking and having the views of a park, of the green? This is something amazing. You are living within a space, but you're living also with the panoramic views and park. We have here what is Solea and Solaria. So we have a mix of Architettonica and Caputo. And what we see here is the combination actually of the glass building that really gives you to each of every residence a lot of exposure in the daylight and actually at night. And Solea with Caputo, we have available the penthouse, which is 3 stories, and everything is already ready. Another solution for you, you're ready to move in a short period of time. This is an exposure what is Porta Nuova, the vision that the COIMA has put together, living in a community, living in a mixed-use development where you have the office tower, the residential component, where you do have the retail space, the restaurants. It's actually the conception that for me reminds me like Xintiandi in Shanghai. So what we do, here we come, we live in a place, we work, we play, and we always have the entertainment. And I think COIMA has been amazing to be part of the transformation of the Nuevo Milano and to conceive. A view at night where you will see how impressive it could be to have these views. I will see the IBM, for example, you have the insurance tower, you have all the retail. But the most important here, we are living with security, with clean air. We are living with really spacious green, very organic lifestyle. And I really would like to focus this because being in China, being in London, being in cosmopolitan cities, this is a treasure. For your generation or for the third generations, because I will see that coming to study your sons, if fashion, design in Bocconi, they want to live. It's very inviting to live within green, with expanded spaces or park. This is a view, as you see the glass tower, Solaria, and actually the complex with Aria and Solaria. Another solution to live in Porta Nuova, if you don't like to live in a high-rise, you have Le Villa at Porta Nuova, where they create this concept of 4-story small buildings, where you have 8 residents from a 1-bedroom to a 4-bedroom residence. It could be 1 floor or 2-floor residence. But I like to really offer you the option as an investment point of view, because you have certain residents here that they already have lease contracts for 4 years. So which means that for an investor point of view, you are purchasing a resident already with a solution and a guarantee rental for 4 years. It could be very inviting to really offer in this product, the type of investor. Another option could be to purchase the whole villa, which really what you're buying here is buying the square meters that you can design in the different residences for future lease contracts as a pure capital return of your investment. The background of the villas. The background of the villas is like a house living where you have from the backyard of your private villa, you have the privacy. In the villas, you do not have amenities like you do enjoy at Bosco Verticale or Area Soraria. Always in those buildings, you have your security, you have your fitness center, you have your clubhouse, and here it's totally different. It's small buildings where you have your privacy to go into your elevator and go directly to your residence. In the back of you will have this type of view, everything open. I always like to emphasize, because we know how it's living in cosmopolitan cities, and you know how it's a treasure to be within Milano and just have all this green. So I think this is very impressive. This is the interior of one of the residents, a 4-bedroom residence in the ground level. Where you walk, you have a 3 meters high ceiling where you open and integrate the interior space with exterior space, with expansive balconies. That really creates the sense of a private villa. And totally a lot of light, where you have actually this type of exposure, daylight and nightlight, always green, very organic lifestyle. There is another villa that could be in the ground floor as well, but you have the grass. So they have actually differentiated within whatever they have already finished and list out different options of design. Another product here we have is Residenze Le Jardin. Residenze Le Jardin is a concept behind Bosco Verticale. So it's really bringing a solution for the type of buyer that wants privacy, that wants to purchase a 1-bedroom or a 3-bedroom residence. So you have in a 2-story, in a 1-story, but it's just overlooking a nice view of the Bosco Verticale, the park, the green. This is the interior of one of the residences, which actually has a double ceiling height, which I think, you have 6 meters, which, floor to ceiling, and very expansive balconies, as you can see. This is a rendering of the penthouse level in the rooftop. We're overlooking, the whole, I would say, skyline, as well the Bosco Verticale and the park. So we have available these options of 3-bedroom residence, a 2-stories, or the 1-bedroom residence here. We come here to an interior and another solution. It's really to offer the potential buyer the possibility to purchase a turnkey residence, a model. Is really what you come here is with I give you the key and you bring your toothpaste in another and your bag. COIMA Image actually has this already finished some residences that are fully furnished, fully fitted. Now we are here at Aria. In the level is 10. You have a lot of floor-to-ceiling glass and access to the different balconies. This is the living room. You have the balcony overlooking right now expansive with glass as well, because it's Aria and Solaria, and with the type of furniture that it comes, if somebody potential buyer would like to buy this residence. The interior for the dining room and overlooking the kitchen, with always thinking in quality. Quality is what really brings COIMA Residenze Porta Nuova. A lot of glass, as you will see. This is a view of a picture from the bathrooms, a collection of different marbles such as Calacata, and really give a unique sense of lifestyle. This is actually in the 2nd floor from this model or residence. You're overlooking the master suite, and you have your private balcony. Aria has this advantage that in some you have different balconies within the one resident. This is the balcony as well of another, where you can see the glass and really the expansive views. You see from the Alps to the Duomo, or you see the Green Park. Wraparound balcony is what really identify this amazing tower. We are here in the penthouse at Solaria. This is actually, you have a 3-story penthouse. What it's really here, you have the solution and a turnkey penthouse already designed and fully finished, where from the rooftop pool. Rooftop, first of all, and an outdoor kitchen. Outdoor kitchen with a lounge to really, transform offer the lifestyle with the panoramic views, which is important. This is a picture of a really rich marble green combining with Calacata, and in most of the way that have the design from the master suite, or even though the bathroom floor-to-ceiling glass, a lot of light. One of the bedrooms residence from the interior, and in the rooftop as well, we are able to have a jacuzzi with a lounge, and that's what really brings and offer this type of residence. This is what I have explained you and offering is I bring all of you to come to Milano, to really come to Milano and be able to see for yourself the comfort, the details, and the amazing design and architects that COIMA has brought in this space, completely organic and green. Looking forward to see you and to welcome you in Milano, Piero and myself, even or we will go to meet you in London or Shanghai, but looking forward it's coming September, Salon de Mobile, so it will be great that now that the world is becoming to us, that we welcome you here. It has been a pleasure, and have a good afternoon. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. I'm Francesco Cardone, Italian tax advisor at Let Taxend. First of all, I would like to thank COIMA, Residenze Porta Nuova, and East Midwest Club for this opportunity. I will talk about Italian taxes on residential properties and, as Ludovico said at the beginning, the very interesting Italian tax regime to attract foreign high net worth individuals. So, Italian taxes on residential properties. The analysis is focused on the residential properties of the Porta Nuova urban regeneration project, assuming the purchaser is a foreign individual, either tax resident or non-tax resident in Italy. On acquisition, 10% VAT applies on the purchase price, but the reduced 4% VAT rate applies in case of non-luxury property, which qualifies as primary residence for the purchaser. The amount, as you can see from the slide, the amount of registration tax and transfer taxes is negligible, 600 euros in total. During the holding period, if the property is rented out, rental fees are subject to a 21% substitute tax. In addition, the owner of an Italian property must pay real estate tax, which may range from 0 to 1.14% of the revaluated cadastral value, which is generally lower than the fair market value of the property. In case an individual sells the residential asset, an Italian residential asset, the capital gain is exempt after a 5-year holding period. Registration tax applies on the revaluated cadastral value of the asset, which is generally lower than the price agreed, at 9% rate, which can be reduced to 2% in case of non-luxury property, which qualifies as primary residence for the purchaser. It has to be noted that the registration tax is generally borne by the purchaser, so it is not a cost on the seller. Also, in this case, the amount of transfer taxes is negligible, 100 euros in total. As a second topic, there is an overview of the very interesting Italian tax regime to attract foreign high net worth individuals. Individuals that are not tax resident in Italy and they decide to transfer their tax residence in Italy can opt to pay a substitute tax of 100,000 euros per year on their non-Italian sourced income. The regime can be extended also to relatives transferring their tax residence to Italy by paying a 25,000 euros yearly tax in addition to the 100,000 euro yearly tax that we already discussed. The main conditions to be eligible for the yearly substitute tax are the following. First of all, the foreign individual must transfer his or her tax residence to Italy. Second, the foreign individual must have not been tax resident in Italy for at least 9 out of the last 10 years. And third, an option must be exercised in the Italian tax return. Following the option, as a consequence of the option, the non-Italian sourced income is subject to the 100,000 yearly tax, while Italian sourced income is subject to ordinary taxation. An exemption is granted also both for Italian wealth taxes on foreign assets and Italian inheritance and gift taxes on foreign assets. The option for the regime is for 15 years, but it is revocable at any time by the taxpayer. The regime, as Ludovico said at the beginning, is attracting in Italy a number of foreign high net worth individuals, including the famous football player Cristiano Ronaldo. That's probably why he decided to play and keep playing in the Italian football championship. That's all for my side. Thank you for your attention, and thanks again to COIMA, Residenze Porta Nuova, and East Meets West Club. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Davide Braghini. I'm a partner in the law firm Gianni Origoni, an international law firm based in Italy. And I will try to give you some basic information on the Italian legal system, and with particular regard to the protection of real estate investment and access to real estate for foreigners. The first element which is important to mention is that buying a property in Italy is open to anybody in the world, with the only limit which is based on the concept of reciprocity, i.e. only those foreigners coming from a country which does not allow Italian citizens to buy a property can have some limitation in buying a property in Italy. But based on our experience, this is limited to very few cases around the world. And also in this case, there may be a special convention allowing foreigners to buy a property in Italy. The Italian real estate legal system is very secure because it's based on a land registry where title in any real estate property is recorded, so to make it protected against any possible third-party rights. Therefore, a person who is interested in buying a property can ascertain, first of all, what are the encumbrances existing on a given property, and then to make sure that as soon as you buy the property, his name is recorded in the registry and his title is protected. Of course, the reverse element of this is that ownership of a property is public, i.e. everybody can have access to the land registry to learn who are the owner of the property. For this reason, people willing to keep confidentiality usually buy a property through a corporate vehicle or other systems that may protect confidentiality. Then I think it's important also to mention the role of the notary. Notary in Italy are independent public officers, and they must be involved in any transfer of title on real estate. They have, as public officers, they have a duty, which is to provide basic advice to both the seller and the purchaser. So a notary will always be independent, and also shall ascertain the existence of any possible encumbrances on property. Therefore, being assisted by a lawyer to buy property in Italy is something which may be useful if one wants to have a full understanding of the legal system or a guidance on the acquisition. But as far as the simple transfer of real estate, access to the real estate, the role of the notary is fundamental. I will add some information on what are the typical steps for buying a property in Italy. The due diligence is usually very easy and is made based on documents which may provide a lot of information about the property, including any possible encumbrances, as mentioned before. the documents are usually made available to a broker, a real estate broker. The process then follows on with a binding offer. It's called in Italian proposta irrevocabile, whereby the prospective purchaser makes his offer indicating the price that he is willing to pay to buy a given property. Usually a deposit is made to secure the proposta. The proposal is then submitted to the owner, and if the owner accepts the proposal, then a contract is made, in the sense that the Italian legal system is based on the concept that when there is a proposal and there is an acceptance, and they are written because they have a requirement for real estate, then there is a contract. Therefore, if you want to make sure that your purchase is assisted by a number of provisions, then you have to make sure that your proposal, your binding offer, contains the terms and conditions that you want to be reflected in the acquisition of the property. It's also typical that after the acceptance of the proposal, the parties enter into a more specific document, which is called Italian contratto preliminare or compromesso, usually say. This is an agreement to agree, an agreement to contract, basically, whereby the parties undertake to make the final transfer of title on a given date, and sometimes subject to conditions precedents, or simply to a term. Why is it useful to have a preliminary? The preliminary is useful for two reasons. First, if the buyer needs to secure a financing, this is the instrument you need to provide to the bank in order to provide all the details of his acquisition and facilitate the obtainment of financing. And second, because if you think that if you're willing to buy the property not in the immediate future, but perhaps after a number of months, you can even register your preliminary in the land registry, and therefore secure, make a reservation for the acquisition of your title on the property. Finally, there is a deed of transfer, also called the rogito, which is a notarized document by which finally the title on the property is transferred. This is the document that is registered or recorded in the land registry. So often it does not contain all the information which may be included in the preliminary, but it's a simple document which contains only the basic information that are required by the Italian law to transfer title in the property. I think these are the main elements that you should know when approaching the Italian legal system. I may simply add, coming to some questions that we received, that it's possible to purchase properties also in the name of children only if there is an authorization by the courts, because the Italian legal system protects minors, children, from possible acquisition that may be useful, but they also may create damage to their future, and therefore there should be an authorization by a judge to allow to register title in the property to a person that has less than 18 years. That's all, and thank you very much again for being connected. And
thank you, everybody. I think that is all our speakers today. So thank you all the speakers. Such a great presentation, really interesting section with lots of information as well. So we already have some questions from our guest. So just to remind you guys, if you have any question, you can actually type in the chat box, and the chat box might not be exactly that obvious. So it's not actually on the Zoom. So you need to go into the registration page, we send it to you. And when you scroll down, you are able to type in your questions. So Yeah, so you can still submit now if you want to. We are going to ask our panels the question we already received. So the first question we have got is, so how is the annual maintenance fee for the vertical tree tower is? I think that is the question for COIMA's team, or any other panel you think you are able to answer this, please welcome as well. But I think this first question is particularly for Piero. Are you able to help us with this, Piero?
The medium cost of condo fees is about 100 square meters, and
100 euro.
Pardon? And this is the value.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so okay, great. So what is the rental market like also in the area, and what is the rental yield?
The rental market in the area depends from many factors, but the starting value is from 350-400 square meters per euro.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that. Also, we have got another question, which is more of a legal side, I think. So somebody have asked if Italy is part of the Golden Visa program and how does it work? I think that particular question would be for our David.
Yeah, it's there is a local provision which is now similar, and basically in some cases allow people moving their residence to Italy and their family as well to Italy to obtain the visa for Italy, provided that they own a real estate in Italy and they have they are able to demonstrate that they have an annual income which will allow them living in Italy without problems, basically. So it's not exactly the international rule, but it's a local rule right now similar.
Okay, great. Amazing. So somebody have asked if they have purchased a property in the vertical tower, is anyone going to help to plan for renting out and managing afterwards? I think that's also a question for COIMA's team.
Of course, we have a department that is available to follow and help all the buyers in order to lease their properties.
Okay, brilliant. So you have a proper team to do it. Okay, so I think the next question would probably be overall for every single panelist. So somebody asked, due to the current climax, especially in the COVID time, what's the situation like in Italy in the property market? Would it affect in the future in terms of economic development and then the property market? I think this could be anyone from the panel. If somebody wanted, maybe Francesco, what do you think? Do you think the COVID time will affect the Italian property market?
Yes, I'm a tax lawyer, but let's say that I deal also with, I deal in particular with the real estate transaction. At what we have seen, as Lodovico said at the beginning, there was a decrease in transaction during the pandemic, but now the numbers of the transaction are raising. So we are, let's say that the Italian market is improving in terms of real estate transaction, and so we are optimistic for the future, for sure.
Indeed, I can confirm that. We have seen that there has been really a stop during the first 3 months of the lockdown in 2020. But soon after that, in May, we've seen a pickup from clearly Italian clients. And this has basically developed by the end of 2020 about an increase from international buyers. And that has been helped as well by the way the Italian government has dealt with the situation. Remember that we were the first one to lock down. And we've proven that basically, you know, by sticking to a common policy, that basically the citizen health was very important for the Italian government. And this has shown as well, in a way, solidity. And that we have seen that as well for international clients, it has been very well appreciated.
Amazing. So what about Monica? Monica, what do you think about the property market after the COVID?
Actually, what we experience now, 2020, Ludovico actually mentioned, that was the shortage. But now in 2021, has increased the international buyers because they are comfortable to be able to travel back to Italy. I do believe that they see right now, especially Milano, with the type of product that we're offering, it's still an undervalued city comparing with the rest of the world in cosmopolitan city. If we really focus about pricing, we will say we are still, you know, comparing with London, with Shanghai, with Hong Kong, it's really what Milan has to offer in this type of residence, lifestyle, fashion, the art, the culture. It's really a jewel. It's really a jewel. I do see that after Brexit with COVID, the Middle East clients, the Chinese clients, the American clients are really seeing an opportunity. I just came back last week. I was in Dubai, for example, you know, for a business trip for COIMA. And the Middle East clients will see an undervalued city, Milano. So we will be expecting in the next coming months, starting with this summer, because it's really, like Ludovico said, the people, international clients, wants to live the Dolce Vita, but also if they want to be able to be coming to Salon de Mobile in September. So we are already ready to bring this flow of international clients that will be coming from around the world. And showcasing, you know, this piece of residence that is very feasible to acquire. And you have a great professional team around you in the tax, in the legal, really in the sales. So we are your advisors, and you are welcome to bring to the international buyers and in a hand-to-hand since the first step to the closing table. And for the investor, the management company that has residence at Porta Nuova that will take care of every, you know, renting the property, managing per year. So this is really an integral service that Residenze Porta Nuova is offering to the international buyer.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Monica. So the next question, we have got someone asking, so how much are the local property purchase taxes? Is there any HOA, which is Homeowner Association in Italy? I think that particular question will be Francesco.
Yeah, thanks, Eve. Let's say, as we said during the presentation, the main tax that has to be paid on acquisition is the 10% VAT, which applies on the purchase price. We can apply, it can be applicable also the 4% reduced VAT rate if certain conditions are met. Let's say, first of all, if it is not a luxury apartment, and second, if the apartment qualifies as a primary residence for the purchaser. So, main message, 10% VAT on the purchase price, and in certain cases, 4% applies. This is the main tax that it is due on acquisition with reference to Porta Nuova residential properties, and the payment is due at the transfer of the property. In other words, when the sale and purchase agreement is concluded.
That is great. Thank you for that. So we have got last question from what I can see at the moment. It's about the currency exchange from China. As you guys are aware, there is some kind of limit to transfer money out of China. Somebody asking if there will be anyone in your office or your partner can help with currency transfer, especially from China. I think that would be for any panelists who maybe are able to help with this. I'm not sure if...
well, I can say something. We assisted in the past some Chinese buyers to purchase properties in Italy, including the Chinese consulate of Italy. It's an entity that we assisted in buying the property, of course, for the consulate here in Milan. Well, of course, the easier situation is when a Chinese person has already some savings abroad, which can be easily tracked in the sense that it can be easily demonstrated that are money coming from his personal assets. If money is in China and there are limitations to transfer, that's not something that Italian advisor can actually really make or help, because that has to do mainly with limitation imposed by the Chinese authority. Anyhow, our firm has offices in Hong Kong, Shanghai, where our resident partners may be willing to provide some information or basic advice on instruments that we have seen in the past to allow or to facilitate the transfer of money out of China.
Great, thank you very much. So that was the last question. So I want to thank you, all the panel and our guests, for joining us today. That was really interesting. I've learned a lot as well. So if we didn't get through your question today and you would like to know further about the development, we're very happy to provide the information you need directly to you. So just get in touch with us after the event and we will put you in contact with the right expert team here in Italy. So thank you, everybody, and wish you have a good day and a good evening ahead.
Thank you, Eve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.